We are wondering what is happening to the world. Everything is changing.
The very idea of human being some sort of natural concept is really going to change.
Our bodies will be so high-tech, we won't be able to really distinguish between what's natural and what's artificial.
Inside our own heads is the most complex arrangement of matter in the known universe.
You might ask yourself, can we get to be superhumans? The original Industrial Revolution was driven by the discovery that you could use steam engines to do all kinds of interesting things.
But that was followed by additional revolutions for electricity and computers and communications technology. We're now in the early stages of the fourth industrial revolution, which is bringing together digital, physical, and biological systems.
One of the features of this fourth industrial revolution is that it doesn't change what we are doing, but it changes us.
With the ability to visualize brain activity, for example, through a simple consumer-based EEG device, it gives us access to ourselves in ways that we've never before thought possible. It unlocks the black box that is the brain and enables us to really, truly be able to realize an identity that is aspirational.
There's now a scientific foundation for the effects of mindfulness on the brain, on the genome, on biological aging. When the human mind does know itself, then you get the potential for a new renaissance that restructures itself in terms of our relationship to life, our relationship to the planet, our relationship to work.
We need a different economic model. By that, I don't mean capitalism versus communism. What I'm talking about is a shift in the system along the lines of the two big changes that happened in the 20th century, Keynesianism, a much greater focus on health and education, and the role of government working with business, and then a reaction against that in late century to neoliberalism, where the focus was on free markets, freedom of the individual, and getting governments out of the way. We need a shift to a new system that will allow us to meet the basic needs of every human on the planet, that will live within planetary means, that will be fairer, and that will be focused as its key goal, not on growth per se, but on maximizing human well-being. And history tells us that a value shift is triggered by creation of a new story about how we want to live.
I see the circular economy as something which fits very closely with mankind's goal to be innovative and creative and to always progress. We can use asset tracking, we can use IT, we can use 3D printing to enable this different economic model to recover materials, feed them back into the economy, and really to decouple growth from the resource constraints we have.
The reason we live in cities is not different today than it was 10,000 years ago. Even if we have got networks connecting us, we still want to have places where we meet in person. So this means the place where we work and the place where we live are much closer to each other, a city where we don't need to have big supply chains in order to produce things, where many things can be sourced locally thanks to 3D printing and robotics. So if we're able to do something to transform cities, to make it more efficient, then the impact can be huge.
Think about the prospect of getting rid of plastics. We must not only be inspired or informed by nature, but actually use natural organisms with which to design products and building parts. Only instead of varying material properties, we're varying biological functionality.
Design is critical today because it's the first signal of human intention. So the question of adding quality to quantity, it isn't a matter of simply circulating things that are potentially toxic. It's circulating things that are safe and healthy for all generations. So the goal is no longer, I want to be less bad, less monotonous, less unsafe, less unjust. It's really about a diverse, safe, healthy, and just world with clean air, clean water, clean soil, clean energy.
Together we're fighting to preserve our fragile climate from irreversible damage and devastation of unthinkable proportions.
If we think about the original Industrial Revolution, it was an energy revolution. I like to think of it as a kind of bookending of a period in human history during which we used fossil fuels, and it worked very well for us for a long time. But now we have to bring that to an end. We have energy technologies that can power our civilization: solar, wind, biomass. So then the question is, well, how do we get grid integration? Maybe the wind is blowing in Denmark, the sun is shining in Germany, and now you can move that electricity through an integrated grid. You can supply energy to everyone who needs it, and you can supply energy at all times.
Walking around, you do see different stuff as far as like the body marriage line. They use a lot of things that help them lift up and move things to the car. You just sit there and, you know, program something, and it has its own set mind to go ahead and do everything. And then as humans, we just come in and take the extra step to help the technology.
It's not the cure-all for everything. There's definitely a lot of things where people perform the operation better, but certainly for the right applications, robotics are a huge improvement for the process.
The projection of 5 million jobs lost by 2020 to technology is serious, but it's not the main question. Construction, manufacturing, services, public health and education, these industries will still exist. The main question is, what will be the future of work? How will we define work? How will we share the wealth?
From the viewpoint of the labor or jobs, now we really need new education or new training.
We're working with a World in Motion and First Robotics, trying to encourage students from 3rd grade all the way up through the end of high school. We had students make sailboats, and then we had them race them, and so they could see how quickly they could move. And they immediately went back and started to say, "Oh, I saw what happened. I'm going to go change this or that." And that was 3rd graders.
I just given a prize to a kid, 18 years old, that has discovered something really very, very unique. Came up with how to get better productivity and better yields for seeds of corn. And so he basically came with the idea that if you would perforate these seeds, you would get more food. And you think about it, say, but he didn't go to university. So how does he get all that knowledge? And he told me, I mean, I've been watching YouTube since the age of 12, and I'm so interested that I've seen everything about it. I've read everything about it. The world is really open to learning. The thing is, how do you give the incentive to your kids to do that?
This ability of digital technology to change outcomes, to truly empower people all over the world, that can create a more equitable growth, because I think the world needs that.
Fourth industrial revolution has the potential to make inequalities visible and to make them less acceptable in the future, and hopefully garner political support to take the necessary decision to reduce that.
Humans have always been using tools, but because of the recent advances in technology, we're beginning to have machines that can augment us in all sorts of interesting ways. I was the first person in the world to be able to voluntarily move my legs while stepping in a robot by exciting the nervous system using electrical stimulators directly onto the spine. We believe that a cure will be possible if enough of the right people have the will to fast-track a cure for paralysis.
We take two things from the patient. First, we take a 3-dimensional X-ray, and we extract the 3-dimensional data out of that so we can make a perfectly shaped puzzle piece. And then we also take a sample of fat tissue from the patient so that we can extract the stem cells out of those. And we use those stem cells with this 3-dimensional scaffold that we fabricate, and after 3 weeks, we have a piece of living bone that's ready for implantation.
Being able to use genome editing to understand the genetic changes that lead to cancer, and technologies like drug delivery, getting molecules into particular types of cells. There's a lot of excitement about being able to move much more quickly on this disease.
one of the things that I think is so essential to free and open societies is freedom of thought. And up until now, the conversation we've been having is around freedom of speech. Once we can access people's thoughts and access people's emotion, we have to create a space that enables people to think freely, to think divergent thoughts, to think creative thoughts. And in a society where people fear having those thoughts, the likelihood of being able to enjoy progress is significantly diminished.
We need to take responsibility at every level of society, from the individual and the person to the institutional to the global, to adapt to these technological challenges and changes, which are redefining what it means to be human, what it means to work, what it means to be completely embedded in this world.
People always ask me if I'm an optimist or a pessimist. The technology exists, but how do we get it and implement it at the scale we need at a price that people around the world can afford?
Even though we have everyday problems we have to solve, we have to find a way to lay the foundations for the innovations of tomorrow.
Right, guys, thank you very much. I'm just hoping that a very fantastic morning to us wherever you're watching it from. This is Felix on the topic today. Talked about 4IR, mediocrity, and blockchain technology. And of course, you agree with me that we have so many things happening in the space of technology advancement, and what are the things that impose improvement there is, and what are the possibilities that it has brought to the table. And of course, we've seen some of those in the episode of what the 4IR. And we tell people what's best. Somebody told us what best can the any for anything any government or least developed country do to accept or adopt 4IR, and what can they do? At least country, of course, countries that are still very backward, what can they do to take advantage of it? But unfortunately, mediocrity is part of the thing I want to discuss with us that is affecting our reception to 4IR. There's 6 ways the least developed countries participate in the 4th industrial revolution. And of course, you see that we still have backwardness in the aspect of understanding how the 4th industrial revolution works, talking about so many things of the technology that have been made use of. It's quite unfortunate that in the part of the world we belong, in Africa, we are still very, very, of course, backward when it has to do with 4IR. All right, and the first thing to say, enhancing acceptability to technology and infrastructure. The question you ask is that, do you have the government of the day in your country? I think I watched something in is in Rwanda talking about a lab was set up. Okay, a lab was set up for the first smartphone industry, by the Rwanda government. So people were working on then manufacturing smartphone in Rwanda. So that's fantastic, all right? That's enhancing the acceptability to technology and infrastructure. So we have a lot of things that have been replaced, but we are still in the old fashion of things without knowing that we're actually outdated, And the next say, making technology more affordable. Is it actually affordable in your part of the world? And nobody's going to make it affordable for you. You have to work towards a task. For things to be affordable is not when the government or maybe the manufacturer make it cheaper. No, it is when you work up to a level where you can afford that thing, that becomes affordable. In the real sense, that is actually very expensive. What to say is expensive is that you cannot afford. For the fact that you cannot afford something does not mean another person will not be able to afford it. So what you need to do is, how do I brace up to meet up to the standard to be able to afford, the technology that is available? So to look at developing future-proof skills. How many of us, look at this, this is a very particular stuff. How many of us are working today and trying to build ourselves or called personal development? How many of us are working towards that? Since the future is digital, it is going to be critical to develop future-proof skills while investing in science, technology, engineering, mathematics area is critical. Soft skills such as creativity, collaborations, and time management cannot be ignored. But most LDC do not, as least developed countries, do not even have resources to provide basic educations, and so will only be able to meet this requirement through external assistance. So what you can do, I call it, how do I get this? Individualistic system. No government is going to provide you this. Before the government will come to your rescue to provide you, certain place where you can learn those soft skills about, developing. All right, we're talking about blockchain. Of course, that's where we're narrowing down to before IR. How many governments of the world, or let me talk about Africa. For instance, let me use my country, Nigeria, as an example, where you cannot talk about enlightening people about blockchain technology. They tell you internet is a fraud. And so how many people will be able to pick the understanding? So what I'm passing across is this. For IR, you have to remove mediocrity. And the mediocrity starts from the top, from the government to the family to the people. Government, family to the people. So the channels is so terrible because the government tells you, don't, this is bad. Then your father is working in the ministry. Your father is a director. Your father is working in the bank. They told your father, the government passed a circular to your father that cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, internet, anybody talking about internet is a fraudster. And your father come home, and because of mediocrity of your father, even in the religion setting, the mediocrity setting again, to tell you, hey, don't go near anything internet. It's a fraud. Don't go near anything cryptocurrency. It's a fraud. So when and how can you know, what is working, and how will you know what is talked about, industrial revolution? Another thing is talking about identifying niche opportunity. Fantastic, fantastic. How many people will be able to identify niche opportunity when you have not learned what is for IR? How will you develop a niche around cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, e-commerce system? Because these are part of 4IR. E-commerce, because that's channel of distribution, we have e-commerce now. A lot of people don't know that you can make and send money, not distributing any product physically, but on the internet using e-commerce. Now today we have what called drop shipping. A drop shipping is working where you can set up your portal, and you get linked to another portal and of distributions, and then set up the portal and draw traffic to your portal, and people purchase it from your portal, and you go to the source where the product can be shipped and connect the two together, connected the source of distributions to the consumers, and you are just a middleman. That's the story of the beach. And you are able to connect goods and services to people, and they get it, and you get paid. But how many people know that? How many people know that when your father, when the government, when the church, the mosque have told you internet is a fraud, this is this language, it's for, in Nigeria, for instance, they say it's for Yahoo boys. So when are we going to know? So how do you identify niche? I want to say some technology work based on the classic slicing up, stuff, okay? On the slicing of the clean chain approach. For example, artificial intelligence relies on big data for its applications. Listen to me, guys. When look at this class. Look at this class here. Look at this. Artificial intelligence relies on big data for its applications. Since data cannot be captured by machines and the bulk of it is generated from document, images, audio, and video, human resources are required at a scale to input and process, while the higher end of the AI chain, like idea generations and eventual applications, mostly take place in developed countries. Now, the best and the fastest way to distribute data or capture data today is blockchain. But this is the point. This is the point. How many people know about blockchain? Ask yourself, what do you know about blockchain? What is your level of understanding about blockchain? To be very sincere, ask yourself a sincere question. What do you know about blockchain? Do you have any idea about blockchain? What do you think is blockchain used for? So many people today, because of the mediocrity in laws, I've told you, from the government and to your parents and to the children. Now, parents from school, the teachers, parent teachers in the church, parent pastors, or imam, and all of that. Now, misguided a lot of people because of mediocrity. we are not trying to, this is not a blasphemy. Please forgive me for that if you think it's a blasphemy, but that's your own understanding. I'm trying to be very, very factual here. We have been victim of this type of things. We're talking about fourth industrial revolution. Some are still in the industrialization, not even talking about the globalization. We have moved, we're talking of artificial intelligence, we're talking about blockchain technology, and you see our people talking, some garbage that without refined data to prove there are reasons of telling you that. We're talking about artificial intelligence right now. They're talking about data gathering. Like I just told you, e-commerce. I have an e-commerce platform, for instance. And the e-commerce platform, do you know that using the internet, because understanding of the fourth IR, do you know that you can go to a site and purchase an article worth of just $20 and get that same article sold on the same internet at $250? Now, one of the fantastic things and fascinating things you need to know about it is this. Buying this thing may not necessarily you pay for it to make it available for the next customer. Because of what? The Internet of Things. On the internet, we've done it. We've seen where we purchase article worth of $36. $36, guys. And people buying it in the same internet worth of $370. So the total money spent for that thing was $36. And there you are, somebody is paying for $370 for it on the same internet. Why? Because you sit down to understand the fourth IR. Because you kill mediocrity. Because you have given a development to yourself. Look at what the third point here. He said, developing future-proof skills. And how do you do that? I say, since the future is digital, it is going to be critical to develop future-proof skills. Some of us are still developing skills that are outdated, guys. Now, making technology more affordable. How many governments of the country, or especially Africa, are going to make this thing affordable for you? Don't think so. It's not going to work. How many of them are making it accessible? The technology and infrastructure. How many governments are making it affordable? How many governments are making it accessible? Developing future-proof. That means you have to live in the future. I normally say sarcastically to some of my clients in trainings that we have people who are living their 5 years to come already, but some of us are still snoring in our 10 years ago. Do you know that? Many of us are still snoring in our 10 years ago. We have some people who are living in their 5 years to come. Why? They've developed everything. They are seeing more to the future than now. So why are we having a critical problem? We have people who just wake up snoring to the problem they were facing 10 years ago. Tell me, if you take today thinking about too much of yesterday, of course you will fail to appraise and appreciate tomorrow because you wouldn't have time to get tomorrow. That is mediocrity. Mediocrity is to sit down today, wasting the whole day thinking of the bad that happened yesterday, and of course, it's going to occupy yourself, your brain, your entire time, not to plan for tomorrow. Eventually, tomorrow, you're going to be lamenting of yesterday. You see the problem? So we have a lot of issues, and many people are not giving us this ideology to tell us that, hey, but who is going to give you? Nobody is going to give you this. You only can develop yourself to get the skills. You only can live in the future by yourself, and nobody is going to give to you. And I told you something about making the technology affordable. That is not possible. It's going to be more expensive. What makes it more expensive is not because of the money spent to get it, but because of the training used to get it. I told somebody yesterday about blockchain, about cryptocurrency in trading. I said, number one thing is this. The strategy, the skills, the pattern to get this thing done is very, very simple. But the process to acquire it is expensive, is painstaking, is time-taking. So not many persons will be interested because we are mentally lazy. By the grace of God, what we have done in Planbxpress for several years now, we have been so silent. But we've sat down that we have a lot of people who are mentally lazy. What then do? We have to position ourselves to educate people. We have to position ourselves to give the real education to people. We are not talking about schooling. Please, when we talk about education, forget about schooling. I'm not saying schooling is bad. The reward for schooling is certification, all right? The reward for schooling is certification. The reward for schooling is for degrees. You have to be awarded a degree, a certificate. That's the reward. Is credentials. But when we're talking about education, we're talking about potential. You might not necessarily have a certificate, but you have the skills to prove that you have attained or acquired a given education. That's what we're talking about, developing future-proof skills. You just watch the video about the 4th IR, talking about the job in the year 2020 going forward. The number of jobs that will be lost to the technology advancement will be much than before. We've seen it, it's already happening, all right? And because why? Every business person, every industry want to maximize profit and minimize cost. So you cannot challenge them not to do that. So identifying niche is very difficult. I've just told you about e-commerce. They're talking about the blockchain, the cryptocurrency. It's another wide place. We're talking about data. What do you think about data? When we talk about blockchain, you're going to understand what we're talking about data. In gathering the decentralized data, the world is going towards decentralization, self-services system, where people can stay independently to work things out and be able to do what is solving their problem. Now, introducing enabling and mitigating policies and regulations. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, these are two ones that, of course, you need to ask yourself. Now, what is this? The 4IR requires good policies and regulations, and will only be possible through coordinated actions from various ministries. For example, introducing an information and communication policy that imposes universal service obligations on internet providers to ensure connections of even the last mile users to the internet will benefit from the trade policy that reduces tariffs and on the import of smartphones and tablets, and the investment policy that removes the cap on foreign ownership of internet services. Now listen to me, guys. We talk about Kigali now in Rwanda. We're talking about developing a lab for producing smartphone, already happening. Okay, now when we talk about these policies, talking about regulations, talking about mitigating stuff, that can help even the last users. You can't just hear about that. Let me ask you a very simple question. How many of you are making use of public internet services in Nigeria, for instance? Well, very, very scanty few. I don't know. You have to provide for yourself. So before the government can even think about that, because this is a challenge. How many governments even understand what is called 4IR? Just go to your government. Send a message if you can have a means of reaching. Go to Minister of Information and Communications. Just send a message to him that, what is 4IR? You'll be amazed of the reply you're going to get from them if you have access to them anyway. I just don't know. I'm not talking bad, I'm not bad mouthing government, but I'm just telling you, it's going to be very difficult for any government to provide for you those things because they don't even know or they don't even care. The last but not the least, harnessing the potential partnership. Good. Is it not anyone who think about the future that's going to look into partnership of what is going to benefit the people for the future? Hello, guys. Be very careful when you talk to this business. We're talking about this opportunity for IR. Mediocrity has impeded a lot of development and opportunity, youth, people, group, citizens of different countries, or especially developing countries or underdeveloped countries, especially Africa, to maximize this. Now, let me tell you something. There's something terribly happening in the world today, especially in Africa. In Africa is a place where we have most of our people that are mentally lazy. I don't want to agree with this, but you will be forced to agree with this fact when they said, a white man say, anything you want to hide from the black, write it in a book. They said he would never bother to read the book. Why? Because they just felt that we are stark illiterate. But the point is that the illiteracy of the 21st century is not the people who cannot read and write, but the people who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. What is happening today in the fourth industrial revolution is learn the new learning. You need to learn the new learning, irrespective of your level of education. I'll give you a story to people about a professor in the university who have been traveling abroad, and when the first time of using internet to book and reserve his air ticket, he never knew. Then he was still on queue, thought the usual business way. And of course, he got to the place I was waiting. Nobody was on the queue. And he waited and waited. He never knew that people have booked their tickets online and come to check in already. They've checked in online. And everything was done very smartly. And then he was still waiting at the place they sell ticket manually. And nobody was attending to him because he felt they've not really come. Unfortunately for him, he lost and missed out of a conference that he ought to have attended. He couldn't attend the conference because he didn't know what was happening. You remember what the video said? He said, it's not about what we want to learn, it's about what is now making us to learn. And it's not about what we want to change, it's that things are now making us to change. So you have to adapt to the new trend of activities. And so the man waited. And when the lady came in, he's called, excuse me, please, I've been waiting here so long and I want to book for, flight for so country to so country. Well, like, no, the flight just took off 15 minutes ago. He said, what do you mean? The flight took off how? He said, yeah, the flight took off 15 minutes ago. Apparently, everyone have booked for their e-tickets online. Sir, we don't provide manual services any longer. It's a self-service. So if you don't mind, please, I'm so busy, but you may still book for another time. If it's happened, you can still have another flight routing that destination today. So I'm giving you my system. He called the man to the office and opened the office and give the system to the man. And then, of course, so busy to do one or two things and left the man with the system. And it was so terrible that the man could not say, I don't know how to use a system. A professor. And it was heavy for the man to say, I don't know how to use a computer system. And so the lady left to attend to other stuff. And finally, when the lady came, of course, the professor was sweating. Professor is the highest cadre in educational status or qualifications, as we call it. And then the lady came and said, okay, so let me connect a printer for you to print out your receipt. She said, excuse me, I do not know how to make use of a computer system. So the lady was shocked, was like, wow, what do you mean? You say you were a professor? I didn't understand. What have you been lecturing? What do you use to lecture people? For God's sake, this is 21st century. What do you use? Of course, he's in the university where he's still using chalk with a chalkboard, they call it blackboard, to teach people with the hazard of inhaling the dust of the chalk, and still printing 1975 handout and still sell to people, still repeating the same cycle. Sorry if you're a professor, forgive me, but I'm just telling you fact. What I'm saying is not to motivate anybody, okay? We speak to activate and to challenge people. We're talking of 4IR and mediocrity. The mediocrity starts from the government to the parent, and the parent in different ministries of work, in different organizations, talked about religion body, go to the church, go to the mosque, and then so we have so many things. In fact, go to the church, certain things somebody need to learn, your father over-spiritualize it. I hope you know that, okay? Your father over-spiritualize it. Now, no. Talking about this thing, I talked to somebody, I like using this example. I'm not surprised. You should know that a lot of people you have met talking about Bitcoin, what do they tell you? They say that is end-time money, 666. That's over-spiritualizing stuff, man. Then you go to another person and say, no, anything that has to do with the internet is a scam. So what then? Where do you start from now? Where do you move to next? The people who are meant to be enlightened. So the people who are meant to get people enlightened are full of mediocrity. So the mediocrity in them is hampering people not to go forward. Because the same group of people, my father, your father, my mother, your mother, is there to make policy that should enhance 4IR, and but my father, your father, my mother, your mother, don't want to learn and unlearn and relearn, because he felt he's a professor, he felt he has read information and library science. So there is nothing you can tell him about the new trend. It is scam. It's a gimmicks. In fact, your father, who is over spiritual, is a spirit from the pit of hell. It meant to be rebuked. Now is to die by fire, and all of those problems. So the mediocrity has actually limited a lot of us to be more aware of the 4IR. Now that's why I brought it to a topic that 4IR, mediocrity, and blockchain technology. Having to know now that the problem we're having is not going to be solved until you individually wake up to enhance your knowledge, to enhance your understanding, to enhance your development, to build yourself intentionally, to be wide in your research level, to understand and bingo and associate with the right people that will give you facts and figures, not just because people say, this is how it has been. I used to say this thing. It's not about disrespecting your father, your biological father, your spiritual father, whatever. But let me tell you something. When it comes to mediocrity, you have to run away from it. It has destroyed a lot of destiny and destroyed nations. Let me use one example of mediocrity. By culture, of course, even the scripture confirms, honor your father and your mother so that it may be well with you in the land of living. Fine. Now, by tradition, you cannot question the authority of your father. But by emergence of development, you can correct your father. But by culture and tradition, you cannot correct your father. Let me use an instance. My father is a very typical village man. For the fact that it's my father, there are things my father wants to blend with the new trend. Remember, the 4IR is not what you love to learn, but it's what will force you to learn. The 4IR force you to change. And not that I decide to change. You must change. It's a must. Okay. People were forced to use handset GSM. I hope you know that. They didn't just choose to. Unconsciously, that was what was happening. So they can't afford to say, I don't need a phone. Your father is in the village. Let him say he doesn't need a phone. How? All the parents, all the children are in the city, and he needs to hear from them. Let him tell me he doesn't need a phone. He's forced to have a phone. So that means the 4IR forced us to change. So the earlier you understand that you need to learn how to change along the changing, the better for you. Now, my father cannot speak good English, but it's my father by tradition. Now, let me tell you how. Maybe my father would ask me, Felix, I say, sir, yeah, I was looking for you. I was not seeing you. Where was you? And since we was looking for you, you was not coming. Yeah, he has tried because he didn't pay for it. He picked that English on the street. All right? He picked that English on the street. And remember, today now we are in a globalized world. And now one of the first language of globalization is English, the French, and whatever. Now, my father wants to speak to somebody who is not of his own dialect, even within the same country. The first language he can always get to interact with that person is English, or he have to remove silent. So my father now tried to blend up, and we was looking for you since we was not seeing you. So we was imagining where was you? I say, yes, Daddy, I have been around, but it's just that you never noticed. Yeah, actually, this is how they say, we have been waiting for you. Where have you been? Where have you been? So he said, oh, I didn't pay for it. I pick it on the street. I say, yes, that's why we are trying to bend you. Now listen to me. Mediocrity would make me to say, this is my father. I must not correct him because he should be right on everything. The same thing in the religious institution. Somebody is lying. Okay? Somebody is lying. But because an elder, you say you should not approach him that, sir, that thing you say, I don't think is right. They say, how dare you, you rebel. Hello. I'm telling you all this fact because we are facing these problems. Now, yesterday training, I was telling somebody I was in church and there was to educate people about blockchain technology. And somebody came and told me, say, we don't talk about this thing here because we don't want our people to be victimized of all this scam. 419s are happening everywhere. Hello. Now, what happened? As far as I'm concerned, that place, they're going to have it very hard because nobody will be ready to educate them because you have to be ready to learn. The best way in the fourth revolutions is learn the new learning. So we have mediocrity that had affected us too much and kept us perpetually at the same spot up to this moment. Mediocrity from government, mediocrity from our people, our parents. But it comes from our parents because it's our parents that still occupy places of government. Absolutely. Someone's father is the president of a country. Someone's father is a minister of information and communications. Someone's father is minister of finance. Someone's father is ministers of agriculture. Someone's father is so it all boils down to family, parents. Now, you cannot give what you don't have. And somebody who is now learning and blending with the new trend, they take him to be a rebel. They take him to be a disgruntled apparatus. They take him to be a scallywag. They take him to be the bad egg. I use my exam as an example. I come from a place where our honorable targets, yes, if you don't know today, I am from Kogi State. In Kogi State, what matters to Kogi, an average Kogi man, what matters to an average Kogi man is to read from beginning to the end and become a professor. Go and ask any Kogi person you see. An average Kogi man, what he understood is that if you don't read book and become a professor, you are nobody. So you have to read book by all means, everybody. In fact, a second thing about us is you must study the courses that are happening. The question I ask people is that, why are you studying all those courses? Because you want to be employable. But that is not what the fourth industrial revolution requires. The fourth industrial revolution encourages creativity. Remember, creativity and being able to create things, ideology. Ali Baba said something previously, talked about the going forward is about creativity. It's about the world of creativity beyond the world of industrialization. It has gone beyond that. So the new learning is a go and create thing. Of course, Ali Baba was called, I was given honorary degree, doctorate degree in Israel, in Hong Kong, in different universities. This was Ali Baba who said he couldn't get some of those things, while working so seriously to get those 5. I'm sure many of you don't read the book of Robert Kiyosaki, The Rich Dad and the Poor Dad. The rich dad is the man who believed that things has to work for him, not him working for things. He understands how money should be a slave, but his biological father was a college professor who believed that you have to work tirelessly for money. And of course, working tirelessly for money, you have to be a slave to money. And so he cannot spend the money because he felt, if I spend the money, I wouldn't see another one tomorrow. So he's been always excessively careful and not being unable to create a new idea. So ladies and gentlemen, mediocrity had kept us to where we are today in the fourth industrial revolution. So what is the answer? The answer is individualistic personal development. You must go all out to develop yourself and don't go to mediocre to get information. Who are mediocre? You want to learn about blockchain technology now. Sorry, forgive me if you're an accountant, like in Nigeria, somebody who is chartered, he has done, I can and I cannot. You want to know about blockchain technology because you talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and you go to an accountant who is chartered and ask him about Bitcoin. What is he going to tell you? He says it's a scam. That is mediocrity. He doesn't know about it. I remember Ali Baba was asking about Bitcoin. He said, well, to be very factual, I don't know much about Bitcoin, so I cannot say much about it. Very plain. I do not know. He said, so the worst thing is that somebody, because you thought you are in a very big rank, and they ask you something about an idea or a concept, and you just want to dabble into it because you felt that they know that you are up there, and you just condemn it, and you have no idea. And it's very simple. When you have no idea about something, and you are the type that you are full of mediocrity, you are going to spoil that. You're going to destroy. You're going to misspell that thing. You're going to destroy it. You're going to call it another name, and that's mediocrity. And people around who honor and give you so much respect, they give you so much accolade, they're going to pick it to be reality because you've said it. Have you seen where mediocrity happened? Because you don't know anything about it. Can you imagine Alibaba, the CEO of AliExpress? He said, Jack Ma said, I don't know much about Bitcoin. I don't know much about Bitcoin, so I don't want to say something I don't know much about. So, honorably, he has avoided mediocrity. He said, I do not know much about it, so I don't want to say much about it. So for that, you can ask more. And listen to me, guys. It is very much possible, and very, very much possible, for you to speak jargon and garbage about something you have no idea about. And that's the mediocrity. And look at the mediocrity. Because, like I use an example, because somebody is your spiritual father, you go to him, and Daddy, please, can you pray? Holy Spirit. You go to your spiritual father and say, Daddy, please, can you pray about blockchain for me? Let me know if it's a place to go into. Of course, if that's your father in the Lord don't know anything about cryptocurrency, blockchain, he's going to say the Spirit of the Lord says it's not correct. As simple as possible. As simple as possible. Because there's still an influence of self in him to like interpret whatever God is even saying to him. So it tells you, I don't think that thing is correct. I have had government warn a lot of people about it. In fact, from the first time when you just say, Daddy, can you help me pray about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin? I say, what do you call it? Is that not what government are warning people about? Don't go there. It will even tell you from my own experience, I have seen people who have been robbing people about this useless Bitcoin thing. It's MMM. Like in Nigeria, with an average advanced man in Nigeria, the parents, go to the church, go to the mosque, go to the school, go to the bank, ask anybody about Bitcoin, it tell you it's MMM. Don't do it. I had a friend who invested in Bitcoin in 2017 when the price of Bitcoin was about $70,000. He invested about 2.5 million. But when the price of Bitcoin was coming down, the money swung down to about 1.1 billion. So he lost about 1.4 billion. Tell him he's an accountant. He's a chartered accountant. He works in the bank. He's an MD, whatever they call them in the bank. Anyone who tells you about Bitcoin, say, that is a fraud. I don't want to go about it. That is mediocrity. Average brain. He has not researched about it. I can tell you something. What do you think made that my friend get involved in Bitcoin in 2017? It's not because he had a sound understanding about it. He just heard that somebody is making the same money, then he dabbled into it. He has no understanding whatsoever, and he was beaten very fast about it. What best do you think that man should do? He should brace up now and begin to learn. So that 1.4 million should be his school fees. We've lost insane money, guys. In the Internet of Things, in the cryptocurrency industry, this year alone, I still lost insane money to different platforms. But what do you think that it gave to me? It brazened my brain to tell me, hey, guy, there are a lot of things that you can do in the cryptocurrency, the blockchain industry, not necessarily going through this way. Can you imagine? Steve Jobs, read about Steve Jobs and understand the innovation and the creativity can come in his brain, talking about Apple, about downtrend about Apple innovations, talking about Einstein, about development of electricity and bulb. And these are the issues. The 4IR had come not for you to learn, but forcing you to learn. Not for you to change, but forcing you to change. They want to force you to change. The 4IR is not saying, I just want you to change. They say, I will change you. And if an ideology, if a system change you, it might change you negatively. You have to make a choice, consciously walk into things and be able to discover your path there. Look at this point, he said what? He said develop a niche. And I tell somebody, he said identify niche opportunities. You cannot identify a niche in an opportunity that you have not sat down to understand where that thing is going. And that is why the first thing you must understand is what? Developing future-proof skills. Why will you develop a future skill? Let me tell you the secret why I sat down in cryptocurrency. It will amaze you today. Why I sat down in cryptocurrency blockchain technology, number one, I studied blockchain technology and I discovered the part that have been used in the blockchain space. Out of 100%, the part that have been used in the blockchain space by cryptocurrency is just less than 5% of its space. So if you want to sit down and understand the blockchain space, that means you must be ready to develop a future-proof skill. You must be ready to live in the future. So I sat down and looked at it. Part of cryptocurrency in blockchain is less than 5%. That we still do have how many percent? We still do have over 95% space of the blockchain industry. That is crazy, guys. Then secondly, I sat down and looked at it. Felix, I do not need to minor in major, and I don't need to major in minor. What do I mean? I've looked at the financial industry. I look at the forex industry, forex marketing, forex trading. I look at the forex industry. Forex has been as old as 1875. Forex has been of the developmental stage for several years back, before the 90s. And it was now embroidered more because of the Internet of Things. But look at it. Forex is about $5.6 trillion transaction in 24 hours. Recently, Forex experienced a breakout up to 6.7 trillion capitalization in 24 hours. Hello, guys. We're making noise about 5 trillion capitalization in 24 hours in Forex. But last week, we have a record and in an update in the Forex market that record $6.9 trillion capitalization in 24 hours. Yeah, it's a fantastic industry. But I look at developing my niche. I cannot develop my niche around Forex. I cannot identify my niche around Forex. Why? It's like trying to be I'm going to be minor in major. So you have to understand, why do I need to major in minor? Why do I need to major in minor? Let me minor in major. It will still make sense. Then the best, let me major in the major. And that's why the future thing is what I need to major in so that I live in the future. And looking at it now, do you know something? Let me shock you something. Many of my friends in the blockchain, in the cryptocurrency industry today, never identified this. Do you know that the cryptocurrency industry is as small as, what will I call it? Less than an enterprise. The cryptocurrency is an industry. It's an innovation. It's a disruption. But let me tell you, it's still about mindset. What makes cryptocurrency big the way you see it? Cryptocurrency is not big the way you see it. I'm going to explain. How do I mean? Cryptocurrency is only big by imaginations. Let's go. Wow, cryptocurrency, we have a lot of millionaires. No, we have few millionaires in cryptocurrency. Wow, cryptocurrency is so big. No, it's your perception, it's your mindset. Let me tell you why. It's too big because it's more complex now. Cryptocurrency is very complex to many people now. Talk about cryptocurrency to anybody. No much person will be ready to listen to that conversation. Only few people will be ready to listen to that conversation. Now listen to me, guys. Cryptocurrency is so small in capitalization, but in imaginations, cryptocurrency is so big. In capitalization, cryptocurrency is so small. In imaginations, cryptocurrency is so big. How? But we live in the world of imaginations. So you cannot go bigger without having bigger imaginations. Why cryptocurrency is big is because it occupies the world of imaginations. Let's go. By capitalization on reality, cryptocurrency industry put together, the capitalization of cryptocurrency put together, not 24 hours, all handsomely is less than $300 billion. If you don't know now. I'm not talking of Bitcoin. The whole industry of cryptocurrency is less than $300 billion capitalization, not 24 hours. In other words, the forex industry can swallow cryptocurrency industry. Hello? Now, this is the question you need to ask me. If forex can swallow cryptocurrency industry, absolutely yes. Why? The forex industry, the capitalization for forex in 24 hours right now is $6.9 trillion capitalization, 24 hours. Cryptocurrency, altogether, not 24 hours, altogether, the whole industry of crypto, the highest it has ever reached was $730 billion capitalization, less than 1 trillion. That was in 2017. Now, right now, the cryptocurrency industry is less than $300 billion capitalization. So by capitalization, by reality, cryptocurrency is very small. Why? Let me use one example. It is an industry, and that's what makes it very big. It is a disruption. That's what makes it very big. It is not a company. It is not a company. It is a democratic, decentralized network. That's what makes it so big. My imagination is wide because it cuts across irrespective of whoever you are. It's an economy of the people, by the people, for the people. And that's what makes it very big. Capitalization is very small. Now let's go. Do you know that the whole capitalization of cryptocurrency, it can be submerged by Apple times 3. Apple as a company, Apple as an industry, Apple as a company or as an enterprise is over 904 billion capitalization. Over 90, as a last week, Apple entered to $1.011 trillion capitalization. But perpetually it was seated around 904 billion capitalization. Cryptocurrency less than 300 billion. That means Apple can cut cryptocurrency industry into 3 portions. Now, let me now shock you. Felix, then aren't you so stupid to stay in the cryptocurrency industry? Here you go. Because I need to major in the major of the future. I need to major in the major of the future. Why? Because we only have now less than 6% of the world population that have Bitcoin. What happens when about 10% to 15 or 20% of the world population have 1 Bitcoin? That means what they told you that Bitcoin may hit $500,000 in less than 3 years may come to pass. Then that's where you understand that I need to major in the major of the future. Now, do I tell you to leave what you are doing and come into cryptocurrency? Not so. But I just told you this, that you need to understand and you need to give yourself a brace up in your mental faculty to develop yourself more extensively beyond just listening to verbal interaction of one person, including Felix. I just need to let you know, guys, that average business person, average network marketers, for instance, in this space, are mostly liars. They are more interested in persuasive marketing to ensure you get involved in their business. We have more level of selfishness, self-centeredness, interest at play. I was just checking yesterday and I was telling somebody, I said, do you just know that the level of prostitutions by network marketers is higher than the level of prostitution by politicians? I just checked it. I just, humanly speaking, I just reasoned it. I look at it. Why? You see, many people smile to you when they want to introduce you to their business, especially in the network marketing system. They smile to you. Once they get the commission, they're away. And it's like, and I saw that we are so shameless, in in the network marketing industry of like, we call MLM junkies. Oh, well, this one, oh, it's not. And that's the song we were singing about this was so absolute. And that's why I told people you must be relative in what you do. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just giving us this expansion of brain to understand the 4IR and the level of mediocrity that is happening around us, limiting us not to take advantage of this. Many of you, sorry, please, I'm not teaching you to disrespect your father, your mother, your spiritual father, your spiritual mother, or whoever. But listen to me, guys. You need to have the brain and the mind of your own. If you don't, you are going to regret it massively. You are going to massively. It's just like when somebody, it's just like you go to, I've told you, you have just gone to the bank to ask somebody. In fact, one example that happens sometimes, somebody needed to buy Bitcoin. And they told him how much is it exchange in Naira to the Bitcoin dollar volume. And he said, okay, I'm going to pay. Do you know the next thing he did? He ran into the bank and asked them, what is the exchange of dollar to Naira today? So maybe the person who was selling Bitcoin to him said 375 Naira per $1 of Bitcoin. So buying of $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, that was 375,000 Naira, 375,000 Naira. So quickly he was in the bank and asked his friends in the bank, please, what's the exchange rate of dollar to Naira? The price here is $358, 358 Naira. So he took his calculator, 358 multiplied by 1,000. He got 358,000 Naira. As against 375,000 Naira. Do you know what this man did? He picked a call. Hello? Why are you so stupid like this? Why are you so foolish like this? So you want to dupe me? Huh? How can you call money for me and said, I want to buy Bitcoin worth of $1,000 and you are calling 375,000 Naira? There you are in the bank, they say it's just 358,000 Naira. And the young man tried to explain. I said, no, don't explain. Give me the phone. And he gave me the phone. I said, hello? They said, yes. Why will he do such a thing? That is criminal. He's a thief. He's a stupid man. Now listen to me. This is a man of God. This man, you know why he's fighting? He's fighting on the wrong information because he had no understanding about what he's talking about. So I said, okay, go ahead, sir. After he finished, I said, no problem, sir. Do you know what? Have you sent your money to the boy? He said, yes. I said, okay, then there's no problem. It's still simple. I said, so, sir, just meet them in the bank, quickly pay to them, let them credit you the $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. Have a nice day, sir. There's no current, sir. Thank you. God bless you. Have a nice day. I left. I'm a very wicked guy, so I can tell you that. And thereafter, he called again. He said, the banker seems not to understand Bitcoin. I said they have to understand, sir. You will stay with them, they have to understand. Since you have better understanding than the boy, now you have to understand with the bank. Let the bank tell you how they sell their own Bitcoin at $358, 358 Naira to $1. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a simple question. Such a man who had failed to make inquiry, what does it take him to say, hello, boy, how are you? Sorry, I'm having some challenges here. You can be very diplomatic about it so that you don't open your level of foolishness too much. Hello, young man, how are you? I have a little challenge here. I'm having another offer for somebody telling me that's what you said, 375. I think I'm seem to have a better offer here. As a businessman, little things still matter too. I'm getting about 358. And then the person could say, oh, okay, that is fantastic, sir. If you can get it, that will be cool. That would be cool. So get it from them. I'm in the bank. So the moment he mentioned I'm in the bank, then because the way he approached you to tell you, and you can kindly say, oh, daddy, no, bank don't understand what we are saying. These are two different things. It's like you are singing funeral song in a wedding ceremony. You say, what does that mean? Say, this is life and death, has nothing in common. The bank is just, so, sir, sorry, you are in the wrong place. Yes, sir. So it's just like somebody who wants to buy a abacha, and then it's now there in the Sokoto, and then it's asking the flat man that I want to buy a abacha. He will say, Bekeche achacha, see that's the issue. So, sir, please come back. Let me show you. Let me tell you what you don't know. Listen to me, guys. What you don't know is your elder brother. Don't be so foolish about that thing. Your level of, even the scripture confirms, if you think you are wise in your eye, that is the high level of foolishness. All right? Now, after the whole thing, I didn't allow the boy to do that transaction for that man. That's my level of wickedness. I must be very candid with you. I told the man, go to the bank. After the whole thing, either he bought or he didn't buy, that was not my business. The last time we met, he said, sorry, that money, I ended up buying the Bitcoin at 380 naira to $1. I said, that is good, sir. I said, let me tell you, sir, when you get to a new environment, if you are not smart, smartness in new environment is not by thinking of your wiseness from where you are coming from. Smartness in new environment is number one. Make a friend from that environment. Create relationship. Just make a friend in that new environment. Use that friend to penetrate to understand how the environment works. And then you can achieve your goal. You can't come there and feel that you're going to be a king because they honor you where you are coming from. Does not mean they're going to honor you here. They will honor you depending on how you interact with people here. Nobody's going to, who cares? Whatever is your status somewhere. It's just like me foolishly now, I just left my place because maybe my wife called me honey, daddy, God, is a good one. And whatever. And then I go to one place and I begin to talk rubbish to them there. They will handle me and I will be humble by force. So what you get to environment, you need to understand. Because these are the part of things we said, developing future skills. That people are not developing these skills. So ladies and gentlemen, that's enough for the 4IR. Now, if you have your pen and your paper there, for some of you who have attended this training, I have something for you. You write down. You can write down. We're going in now to the blockchain technology. And before I will allow you to ask a question, all right? We're going to the blockchain technology. And then from there, you can ask some questions if you wish to ask questions. And to understand going forward, how does it really work? What is blockchain technology? So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. You've listened. We've talked about the 4IR and the mediocrity. And this is a time to talk about the blockchain. And you've seen the mediocrity in the blockchain technology. So how does it work? 4IR, the mediocrity has set us back up to where we are from our parents. And of course, it's our parents that occupy the government position. So when you say parent and government, they are all the same. And so, because it's someone's father that is the president, it's someone's father that is the minister, the lawmakers, it's someone's father. And of course, what he has no understanding about, he may be so arrogant because of his position. But that's one of the things that is killing us. Like me, what I don't know. Sometimes I remember there's some things if I want to do, and my team member will tell me, okay, this thing you want to do doesn't work that way. There's somebody who used to tell me this is Pakis. Pakis will tell me, okay, that thing you want to do, let's do it this way. I say, hey. He said, yes, this is this best person. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it this way. Now, if I'm full of mediocrity, number one, he has seen that this guy is full of mediocrity. Okay, it's my guy. I won't talk to him. But this will be destroyed, and he will just be looking at me. I'll be laughing. But he said, hey, this thing doesn't work that way. I said, hey, how does it work? He said, it works this way. Okay, let's take it. Let's do it this way then. What do you think? Suggesting, collaborations, building together. So that gives you that. But the arrogance, because I am the Senator of Federal Republic of Nigeria, and you don't even know how the new trend of activities work. So what are you going to propagate? What law are you going to enforce? What do you tell people? The same way, the same old stories? It doesn't work that way. We're talking of 4th industrial revolution. Then how can you pack colloquial people from the ancient age to come and govern industrial revolution? Of course, they will bring it back to the colloquial stage. People are thinking 10 years to come. You are bringing man from the 70s, from the 1880s to come and govern. You understand? I'm not being political here. I'm just being realistic, because if you look at it, that's why we're going backward. So it doesn't match at all. So the best I have told you, is there a problem? Then there's a problem. Is there a solution? Yes. What is the solution? Individualistic personal brain development. Develop your brain individually. Don't wait on government. They cannot solve the problem. They cannot. Because they cannot do what they have no idea about. They cannot solve the problem. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the blockchain. You'll be hearing about blockchain, you'll be hearing about cryptocurrency and all of that. We have a lot of niche in our blockchain technology. Listen, number one is that what blockchain is all about. Of course, blockchain is a technology. Of course, it's an innovation. Oh, is blockchain and Bitcoin the same? They are not the same, of course. Oh, is blockchain and blockchain.com, because this is another misconception people have. When they hear about blockchain technology and they hear about blockchain.com, they thought it's the same. They are not the same. There's blockchain technology, there is blockchain.com. Blockchain technology is the ledger, digital ledger system that helps in storing data, decentralized, and we have different types of blockchain. We might not go into more detail about that. We have public, we have private, we have dormant, different type of blockchain. We have about 4 types of blockchain. Now listen, guys, if you are using the blockchain, the government have capacity to set up a blockchain system. All right. If they set up a blockchain system, that's a private blockchain. But this profile that will be put in there will still functions as blockchain, but it's private. But being private does not mean that the government can manipulate. Like the government can make use of the blockchain to set up the data bank of all the international passport of everybody and interconnected. So anywhere you get to, as a flash, you see it and it's not manipulated. And that's the blockchain. And then we have the blockchain. The public blockchain is the most pronounced blockchain we're making use of. That's why you hear about the blockchain and the Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin that have the blockchain of the Bitcoin is the what we call the blockchain explorer that shows the validity of the transaction moving from one place to another on the explorer. Then we have the blockchain.com. The blockchain.com is a particular wallet provider system. Blockchain.com was launched. It's a private type of blockchain, but that focuses on the transactional record of Bitcoin and now start to add other coins into it. And that's where you talk about the blockchain.com. Blockchain.com is a wallet provider. Blockchain.com and blockchain technology are not the same, guys, right? Blockchain.com is a private provider services that give you access to store your coin in the system. But it's a blockchain system with a scripted file where the provider have no access to your data or your storing facilities. It is independent now because it's a decentralized system. Those jargon might be very, very difficult for you to understand because this is just an orientation. So the blockchain.com was launched in 2011 to store the transaction of Bitcoin. And so you can decide to make use of the blockchain.com to store your Bitcoin. Then over time, they have been adding new things, the Ethereum, the Stellar Lumen, the whatever, the Bitcoin Cash, and all of that. So Bitcoin.com, blockchain.com, blockchain technology are not the same, okay? So be very, very careful. So because sometimes you could ignorantly argue with people and say, hey, blockchain.com, that is the blockchain technology we're talking about. It's not. Blockchain.com is not the same as blockchain technology, okay? Now, so ladies and gentlemen, what do I need to benefit from the blockchain? Many of us know that the blockchain have wider scope more than the Bitcoin environment. But listen to me. Even the scripture confirms something. I love that it said the time and chances happening to them all. Listen, I've always been shouting all the time, telling my friends, my community, how to understand adopting use theory rather than adopting dependent theory. Everything that happens is for a purpose and is for usage. If you over depend on things, you are going to be disappointed. You don't depend on things. The only thing that is dependable is the God. Dependable, dependable God. Hallelujah. Yeah, Pakis don't laugh at me because I'm not a musical director, so be careful. And so, this is the point. The only dependable stuff in the world is God. And the only thing that stays for life and never change is the word of God. Please, I'm not preaching to you guys, but I want you to understand it. Irrespective of who you are, either you are a pagan, you are a Muslim, you are whoever, it's only God that remains forever, and it's only His word that remains forever. Every other thing are to be used, not to be dependent on. So the only thing you should depend on and rely and stay that He will never fail you is God and His word. Now, coming into cryptocurrency, listen to me. There was a man I was listening to his story. He said in the 70s, he enjoyed the abnormal. He said he has been making crazy money in the abnormal trade. In the 70s, it was the abnormal of oil boom, and he took advantage of it. And in the 90s, he talked about the dot-com era, which was abnormal. He made the excess money. He talked about going forward, the tech era, abnormal boom in the tech era. He took advantage of it. He said he moved to the next was the abnormal boom in the gold. He said he took advantage of it. Then he moved to abnormal boom in 2001, 2003 to 2005 was abnormal boom in real estate. He took advantage of it. He said, but right now, it is now the abnormal boom of the blockchain technology, cryptocurrency. He said, there I am in. So you can't be excessively rich if you don't know how to make use of abnormal trend. And now we're in the abnormal trend because of the cryptocurrency industry. It's an abnormal trend. So ladies, let me take you on a trip now and to position your mind. Listen, it is not how much you invest in abnormal trend that matters. It is, are you investing at the right time in abnormal trend? And are you investing into the right content of that abnormal trend? Because sometimes some people felt, how many of you attended Tikawari when he said, I'm going to give you 5 coins, now you invest only $500, and in 10 months, that $500 will give you $5 million return. It sounds impossible. Let me show you why it's possible and how it's very possible. Let's go, everybody. We're in the blockchain technology now. We're talking about the cryptocurrency industry and the business opportunity therein and how to take advantage of it. Remember, we said the side attraction is personal trading. The second attraction is leasing project. That's the masternode project. The third attraction is POS, proof of staking project. The fourth attraction was MLM leveraging system. So let me show you guys something. You can take a record of this. I want to go here. I'm not going to teach you how to trade today. Not at all. Okay. I'm not going to teach you how to trade today. Not at all. Yeah. So I just want to show you something, guys. Okay. I just do hope everybody is seeing my screen. Okay. If you don't see my screen, just say not seen. Okay. Coin market cap. Now, guys, listen to me. You do not really have a capacity to believe in what Tikawari said. All right? This guy, you do not have capacity to believe in. Look at Tikawari. Let me show you something before we move ahead. You do not have capacity to believe in what Tikawari said. Look at him. This is Tikawari. And the first coin he mentioned was Link. Unfortunately enough for us, we have been on Link before Tikawari mentioned Link. Chainlink coin was the first coin the guy mentioned. And can I tell you something? Since we have been on Link coin, from the 13th of last month, Link was 14,000 Satoshi. And right now, Link, as at yesterday, Link did up to 140% growth just holding Link from 13th of last month. Just holding Link, you have done 140% against Bitcoin since on the 13th of last month. And he did mention about Link on the 18th when he did his program. And that has kept Link perpetually up in an upward trend since that time. Link has spanked up to 35,000 Satoshi since that time. But listen, where we are going is that, is it possible for what this guy said about 5 coins with $500 investment to $5 million in 10 months? Is it possible? If you don't understand abnormality in this industry we are, it is impossible. But if you understand abnormality in this industry we are, you know that it is very possible. Let me use an example. Let me show you why it's possible. How many of you heard about this coin? One of my talk about this coin, but I didn't partook on it. That was in 2000 or whatever. You're going to see the coin. It's called 42 coin. This boy mentioned the coin, how they took advantage of this coin in that year back. This coin right now is about how many $1,000? $18,000 per one. Okay. Now it sounds impossible, right? It is not about how much you invested, it's about the time you invest. So the community you belong to determines how far you go in the industry. You must belong to a community that will be able to give you the right information at the right time, and you're able to bank on that information very fast beyond just waiting and watching. Okay. Now he talked about this coin. Now that didn't even pushed me so much, but at the end of the day, I come to understand and realize this, that this coin this boy mentioned, look at this, the total capitalization, the total supply, 42, and then this coin, let's go to the rating of this coin. I want to just use statistics. How is it possible for what Tikawari said? How is it possible to materialize? Look at this. This coin has been up to $992,883 in 2014, January. Now, the coin that gone to as high as $900,000 per one came down to as low as how much? In 2016, May, came down to as low as $12.26. This is what we call full principle theory. Now, some people said, wow, this thing you came down again, they collected a lot of it. But this is the time you tell some people that now this guy has come down, can you buy? He said, no, it has crashed entirely. You don't say that. It has not crashed. Why? The same after that time, in 90 days ago, this coin was about how much? $38,000. 90 days ago. 52 weeks ago, that's about a year apparently. That's about 2018 or 2019, 17 December. This coin was $54,000. Imagine you were able to buy just 3 or 2 of this coin at $12 and kept it. You have to be very foolish. In cryptocurrency, there are 4 things that are very important. Discipline, patience, foolishness, and dedication. Discipline, patience, dedication, foolishness. Discipline, dedication, discipline, foolishness. Discipline, dedication, patience, foolishness. Foolishness, discipline, dedication, and patience. Now, this man must have been very foolish to buy this coin at $12 and eventually caught up again to $54,000 thereafter. He might not have the capacity to leave it up to this time before selling, but he may sell at $10,000. If you have bought 2, that's $20,000. 90 days ago, the coin went to as low as $13,000, and right, it moved up to $38,000. 30 days ago, the coin went to as low as $15,000 and moved up to as high as $26,000. 7 days ago, the coin went to as low as $15,000 and go to as high as $18,000. 24 hours ago was about $17,000 and now about $18,000. So yesterday was as about $17,000 and now went as high as $18,000. Listen, gentlemen, this is just one. Now, this sounds too big to believe. It's too big to believe. The same boy who gave us information about this and as a data preference to understand how the market is actually working, he brought another one in the month of February this year called Torcoin. Okay? Torcoin. Now, this is a Torcoin. Now, Tikawari said $500. Tikawari said $500 in 5 different coins to give you $5 million in the next 10 months. It sounds unbelievable. How? Mathematically impossible. How is it going to work? Okay, I'll tell you how it's going to work. Let's go here. This is a coin called Torcoin. This Tor coin, many people got involved in this Tor coin, got involved by information. You need to walk in corridors of opportunity, and you need to know how to make use of information gotten from the corridors of opportunity. If you are not the type that do research or belong to a community that do research, go and find one and join. Very important. And that's what we do absolutely in Plan B. We research for value and we distribute value. We want our people to be free financially in the next 2 years. 2 years to financial freedom is our target. So you must sit down to understand how to make use of this information. This is internet of value. Internet of value, not just internet and information. This is internet of things. This is internet and value. Now let's go. The Tor coin is coming up and the network is let's go here for you to understand when somebody tells you something, why you do not have capacity to believe what that man is telling you is because of your level of understanding. Look, just like the word of God. Look at the word of God. When someone tells you, I believe in God, God will do this for me, because he doesn't know God, he doesn't believe God can do it. But you do know God, you believe God can do it because you know God. And that's the same thing. When somebody said, said the scripture say, for you shall know thy God, and, because you shall know thy God, not that you shall just know him, but you shall do what he says. Scripturally speaking, we mark the capacity that we should be making use of in the industry as a believer. Okay, so let's go. This is Tor coin. Tor coin, this year, February. Now, Tor coin is still up to 7,511% growth from the time it was launched on exchange. The ROI is still up to 7,512%, 11%. But that's not the issue. Look at the issue I want to show you here. Tor coin, the low time when it entered into the exchange was at 14 cents. Somebody is shouting. Marquis, why are you shouting? So now, this coin was 14 cents all-time low, February 12, 2019. And someone with $100, Tikawari said, invest $500 in 5 different coins in 10 months. This coin will give you $5 million. To a layman, is impossible. Now look at this coin. This coin from February 2019 was 14 cents. Let's see how many volume of this coin you will have with $100 investment. $100 investment, $100 divided by 14 cents, 0.145. $100 divided by 145, sorry. $100 divided by 0.145, it gives you 689 of the coin. Okay? 689 of the coin. Now, the all-time high of the coin, February, so March, April, May, June, 4 months, four. The coin went to as high as $2,130. So multiply 689.65 coins, multiply by $2,130. It gives $1.4 million. $1,468,000. $1.4 million in 4 months, $400. Assuming it's $500 you invested, you say $500 divided by 0.145, it gives you 3,448 of the coin, okay? $500 give you this 3,448 of the coin. When the coin went to all-time high of 2,130, so let's just say $2,000 multiplied by $2,000, okay, that gives you about $6.8 million in 4 months. $500 give you $6.8 million in 4 months. Is it very possible to do 10 months, $5 million with $500? Exactly possible. But is it juicy to start it? It's not juicy. You have to believe. Your spirit have to understand it. You have to be ready. And those are the things we show people to take advantage of the opportunity there in cryptocurrency. I just show you this. Another thing I can show you, another coin, which I knew I partook on, was this coin, THX. Tornex. Okay, Tornex, presently still about $8. Tornex entered to the market at 9 cents. Yeah, actually bought, and I bought for one of my daughter. And go to Tornex. Okay, let's see how much. Tornex entered into the market about 9 cents or thereabouts in May. May, yeah, I was in Lagos. I think, yeah, I was in Lagos, May. Listen at it. THX. But this is the thing. Up to now, the coin is still about 983%. Why? The all-time low of this coin was at 7 cents. Oh, 73 cents. Actually, it got to the market not about 73 cents. All that, it was less than that. I bought at 9 cents. So I bought at 9 cents, but all-time low was this. But I bought at 9 cents before it was launched to the market. And so now 9 cents. Just imagine this coin went to as high as how much dollars? How much dollars? $25 all-time high. In the same May, the same May 17, it was 73 cents. It went to as high as $25 in the same month of May, 31st of May, in less than 1 month. In less than 1 month, 73 cents. How many percent is this? 73%, that is less than $1 to $25.32. So 73 cents, 73 cents, let's say 73 cents, 0.73 multiplied by how many times? Let's say 2,500% or more than that. Or let's say times 30. It's more than that. 0.73 multiplied by 40 multiplied by 35, 0.73 multiplied by 35. Fantastic. So the coin did 3,500% in less than 1 month, 17 to 31st. So if you invest $100, so $100 multiplied by 35 times, multiplied by 35. So you have $3,500. If you invest $100, if you invest $1,000 multiplied by 35 times, you have $35,000 in 13 days. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important you learn how to understand that when you talk about cryptocurrency, it's not about how much you invested, it's about on what do you invest. So I'm going to give you this. Some of you have not been part of our project for a long time. Our target in Planbxpress, number one, we talked about personal trading. Number two, we talked about masternode. Number three, we talked about POS staking. Number four, we talked about mining projects, okay? Mining projects. And number four, we talked about MLM leveraging. Okay, so one after the other, I just show you I'm rounding up already so that you go back home, you do your homework. Okay, you go back home, you do your homework. Number one, where we use our personal trading is this place. Where do we take advantage of our personal trading? We take advantage of our personal trading on this place, guys. We take advantage of our personal trading on Binance. I trade on Binance. I trade on BitMEX. So we trade both exchange trading and margin trading. Yesterday, just look at something here. I just, if you look at it now, this is this coin, Red coin. Red coin was trying to do some fantastic thing yesterday. So I have to go in for it. Was it here? Was this place? Okay, let me just go in here. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here. Fantastic. This is drastic, man. Okay, I think the network is just malfunctioning here, so I just need the network to come up and so show you just a brief thing. 29,000 Satoshi. This guy is coming down very fast, and the Bitcoin, I think the Bitcoin is bullish and terrible, you know. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, you get, okay, all right, so fantastic. Wow, this is crazy, guys. I'm sure Bitcoin is taking an upward leap again, or taking a downward leap, or what's it doing? Oh, I see, I see, I see. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay, no problem. So, guys, why do I recommend personal trading for everybody? I recommended personal trading for a very long time because it's a place where you can take advantage and hold your capital by yourself. You can liquidate your asset anytime you wish to liquidate your asset. And because it's a market where you decide how much you want per day, per minute, per second, but it's a place where you just need to learn how to do it by yourself. I do not believe in giving my asset to anybody to handle for me when it comes to personal trading. I do my asset by myself. I trade my asset by myself. And it's so important for you to learn. Yesterday, I just get involved. I just get into Red. Okay, maybe this, I have several Binance accounts. So I'm trying to see. I bought Red yesterday at 690 Satoshi, and already it's about 734. 738 Satoshi, that means I've done about 14% since yesterday. That makes sense. So if I want to exit the market now, I'm already on 14%, but I'm not exiting the market because Red must go up to 1,000 Satoshi before I exit the market. So ladies and gentlemen, personal trading is one of the first things I recommend for anybody, no matter what it is. But I know, fine, it's a fantastic business to do, but it requires you to learn. You must be ready to learn. If you are not learning, forget about it, because it's simple, it's fantastic, but it's painstaking to learn. And if you think, because you have been hearing on the radio, the forex trading and all of that, not that forex trading is not fantastic, but it's much, much, much more deadly than cryptocurrency. You can manipulate cryptocurrency, you cannot manipulate forex as usual, but you need to definitely know that you need to blow some account before you can be stable emotionally, psychologically in your forex trading. And that's why we tell people, if you want to start personal trading, start from crypto. Later, you can develop the skills on your forex trading. Yeah, okay? Remember, in crypto, you are trading assets to currencies and currency to assets, not just pairs of currencies. So be careful when it comes to cryptocurrency, when it comes to the forex trading and all of that. So you need to understand the trend of activities and know what to want per time, and so that you don't misbehave in terms of people hyping you to what they do. Okay, there are two places I recommend for people. I have a community called Build With Me Premium Group, and the community is powered by Planbxpress. And the community is a place where you learn the basic trading strategies called Build with Me Premium Group, Plan B, Build with Me Premium Group. You have a subscription to pay, subscription of 55,000 naira per year or $155, in Bitcoin, and you become you're part of the community. The community, you have access to information and access to some coins that you can trade and make profit by yourself. Okay, I think somebody will ask a question. Sorry, just a moment. Oh, sorry. Don't worry. I have many Binance accounts. Don't bother about that. So there are things that I do that you might not be able to do. Okay. Yeah. So just have your own one, but I have more than one. I have about 4 Binance accounts. The only thing you need to understand is that one of the account is being verified. Okay. One of the account is being verified, while the other ones are not being verified. Okay, so don't bother about that. So don't give yourself too much headache about that. Okay, so one is being verified, one is not being verified. Others are not being verified. That is, I use my ID card and my detail to verify one, and while the others are not being verified. Okay. All right, so be very careful. So when some people that want to know about what's happening in the, those things. So that's it. You that have questions about, I have many Binance accounts and there's a warning. So don't bother about that. It's not an issue. We know how to have a wait. Okay, so now I was showing some people just today on my page, like when Bitcoin was to come to bring up, I have to go to my BitMEX, and I did 38%, 35% or 32% rather of my growth. And I just trade $500 and leverage on $5,000. So that means I did 32% of $500. That's crazy, guys. Almost $200 or $300 or thereabout that I have done for 35 or 32% of $500. So now, that's the personal trading. So you must sit down to understand basics. It's painstaking, guys. It's not easy for personal trading. But is it really worth it? Yeah, absolutely. What you need to do on personal trading. So the next thing I do is the aspect of, okay, on the personal trading, I told you I make use of, Build with the Premium Group. You need to subscribe. Number 2, there's another platform I subscribe for that you can have some report from too. And at the same time, it's a kind of a network marketing. It's called NitBlock. NitBlock. You write them down, look at it, NitBlock. Okay, let me log into it. So I make use of NitBlock as an added advantage to my platform, as an added advantage to my algorithm. And so I analyze my market by myself. Over time, everybody needs to learn how to analyze the market. There are 4 fundamental things that you must take note in the market so that you don't kill yourself. Number 1 is the price of the coin you want to buy. Okay, the price of the coin you want to buy. Number 2, after the price, number 2 is the volume of Bitcoin that are coming into that market of the coin you want to buy. The price of the market you want to buy. Number 2, the volume of Bitcoin 24 hours that's coming to the market. Number 3, the support of the coin. Number 4, the resistance of the coin. These are the 4 major things that matters. Now, all you now need to know to develop yourself is to understand where is the support and when is the resistance. Of course, we know the support is the level at which where the marketers or the traders are not willing to sell because it's already at their below stop loss. So at that point, they don't want to sell. They want to hold. So many people are going to hold, and marketers or traders are going to see that people are holding this coin. Nobody want to sell. They begin to buy for the price to bounce back. That's the best time to buy. When the market is so silent, it has created a support level, and that's the point where I need to buy. Now, when it's bullish, anytime a market gets bullish, extremely bullish, it must take a pullback to create another support, or just a pullback and then consolidate to take another momentum up. This is my style. If I buy a coin right now, and I've done 20% or 14%, and I see that the coin has created a resistance, I sell off because it's going to pull back maybe If it has done 20%, it may pull back to as low as 12% before it bounces back. So what do? I have sold the first one. When it pulled back to 12%, I buy the coin again. I've increased the volume of the coin. So you must understand this. Okay? Now, if you are just trading, hey, I'm just trading, I'm just holding. No, it's not that. You need to define a strategy for yourself. You need to design a pattern for yourself. Look at it, for instance. Let me use an example here. This is a practical example of, I need to show you a support, a resistance. A resistance is a point at which, wow, this guy is crazy. This red is crazy. This red is crazy. Wow, this is fantastic. This red. Yay, what's up?
I'm fine.
Wow, this guy is bullish. This is 18% just now, guys. We're just at 14%, man. That's now look at it. This is a fantastic example. Huh? If you are trading this coin, for instance, now this coin has already hit a kind of resistance. This is a resistance level. Can you see an arrow indicating that, hey, guy, something is happening here? Man, I want to push over here. I want to give an uppercut. It's not working. Well, so the best is I can dump it. But or if you come into the market, if you are scalping, this type of coin, if you buy it, you need to partition it into two. Keep one part of the coin separate and keep one part of the coin for scalping. How? The moment the coin have done very fantastic percentage, and you see it has created a resistance this way, check the volume that is still coming in. Just glue at the volume. Look at 24 hours volume. Are they coming in rush? More volume is still coming. Yeah, it's coming in rush. 647 before, it's now 648. Of course, if more is coming, that means it's going to break more. It's going to push more. It's going to push more. You can see it has pushed from 768, 769 to 770. You watch the volume that are coming, and then more volumes coming. If more volumes are coming, it's going to push the resistance more. Push the resistance more. Push the resistance more. Push the resistance more. But fantastic, as a good trader you are, what then do you need to do? At this point, you need to take profit of your scalping. You need to take profit of your scalping. Now, that portion you have kept for scalping, you take your profit. When you take your profit, you know you kept one portion, maybe 50% of that coin that you are holding, so that as you take your profit now, and the coin still kept bullishing, the volume you kept will fight the fight for you. Now, if the coin refuses to bullish and eventually come down again, now dropping, you don't bother yourself. You have taken profit on the high. You wait for the next round of a taking off. So in trading, it's not about holding the coin. It's all about developing a strategy and a pattern. So this is a resistance. You can see now this resistance is struggling, but there's much volume that are coming in. It means this market may still break up. It has created another candlestick. It tried to go up. It creates a red candle. If it creates another red candle, if it creates 1, 2, 3 consecutive red candles, that's a dodgy. That coin must fall. The price must come down. That means at that point, there are much people who are taking profit. More people are taking profit. More people are taking profit. And that's what you need to understand about the resistance and the support. Now, look at the support at the back here. 503 Satoshi. That was yesterday. Yesterday, 503 support level. And at this point, the market went down that, hey, I'm not going down below this. I'm actually going up because nobody want to sell at this point because they are not on profit. So you have to keep it and keep watching. You can see the market can get you frightened. Emotion must be destroyed from your mind when you are trading. Why? If you look at it now, you say, hey, if I had known I would have sold at 771 Satoshi, now it has dropped to 753. It doesn't matter. Just leave it. Looking at this volume, it's still going to break up. So that is trading. You cannot learn trading one day anyway. So you have to continue practicing it and all of that. But I know for sure, Ren, I'm not going to touch it until it's 1,000 Satoshi. If you break down, it's on its own. You see it has broken down 3 times today. 1, 2, 3 before move up again. It's none of my business. You know, anytime you break up, I make my profits, and that's it. Because it's a coin that I can even hold for a long time, so it's not an issue. But if you look at the volume that I see coming, 654, it's more than before. So more volume may be coming. You just see spark up again. Okay, 655. The next time you come back again, you might see the coin must have gone. So that is on the trading. Now, I told somebody the other day, I said, in our Planbxpress, we have cut off from what we call third-party system. Why do we cut off from third-party system? We want value to be created for people. We want to give value to people beyond just, hey, come to cryptocurrency. No, we want people to learn. We want people to take advantage of things. And that's why we prioritize personal trading. And your personal trading, the first thing is that you're swing, and you're holding position, you're swing, and you're scalping. Develop a style, understand the primary coins and the secondary coins. Primary coins are most coins that we hold because they have the same behavioral pattern with Bitcoin. So you can buy it and hold it until they break even very big margin before you sell. That is holding. Swinging, I can buy now and place price for sale. I place price for sale. Like I bought the red coin yesterday at how much Satoshi? At 690 Satoshi. I could sell at 750 Satoshi. If I sell at 750 Satoshi, that's about 12%. And then when it gets there, they sell for me. That's a swing. It might not be go fast. It might take 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months. It doesn't matter. There's scalping. I just look at, I've done 4%, 5%, 6%, maybe a few hours, in less than 30 minutes, or in 20 minutes, or in 40 minutes. I collect my money and move away. That's a scalping. And so that's what you need to develop. Now, if you look at this platform, why do I send it to people? I signed up in August when they launched. This why I signed up on this coin, on this platform, is because of this thing. This is their token. You know why? This thing came from the same group of people who recommended Torcoin, who talk about Coin 42, who talk about THX. So this time around, I don't want to joke. So I want to take the risk to buy into it and have their token. Their token is to be launched by December this year, December 2019. If they launch, they promise to launch on Tex Exchange and one other exchange before they go on Binance, if possible. But that's not my business. My business is that once they launch, they are going to swap their coins. Swapping of coins mean of their token is that reducing it, they might say 100 coin to one of the token, 100 token to one of the coin, or 10 token to one of the coin, depending. But what it means is that they are going to reduce the size of the volume of their token in circulation, and then that boosts the pumping of the price of the token. So the best time to pick them is now, because you cannot buy it on exchange because they are not launched yet. But the second thing they now did is that was to give incentive to people. They have an academy. If you come here, look at an academy. The academy have report analysis, just like the way we do our algorithm. It has a report analysis. Once you sign up and subscribe, you can connect to the academy. It gives analysis too, like Bitcoin that went up, they gave the analysis too. So when I check the analysis, I collide with my algorithm and my platform on Python Signal. So I say, okay, it makes a lot of sense. Then let me sign up. So you can see the academy, and then you subscribe. I click on the third Professional Blockchain Technology Academy. So that's level 3. So the professional one, and you get linked to it on Telegram group and get information. And then you use it to trade. Okay? So some beginners who cannot afford possibly to subscribe for Python Signal, for instance, they cannot afford to subscribe for some algorithm. They can subscribe for this. Third thing, why many Nigerians too, why many Nigerians love this is they saw that, okay, they can be incentivized. They give it incentive. What incentive? Apart from the token and the academy, look at it, they give you incentive on weekly basis. Okay, look at this account, for instance. You see $384. What does that mean? They said, because this group are pump group, they pump coins. Now, this account subscribed for $200, 12th of September. And the expiration of the subscription is 2020. That is by February. The total subscription cycle for the account is 168 days. After 168 days, you must subscribe if you want to get the academy report. Again, I'm not sure if the token will still be given that time because they are distributing 30 million out of the 50 million of their tokens. So when they launch to the exchange, of course, you have to go to the exchange to buy their token. So now DRC account has spent 28 days. What they now did is that they are giving incentive after pumping, using money to pump, they give you some incentive. What they told me is, look at this account. Every week, after first 2 weeks, it's on incubation. Every week, this account will be earning $16. Now, what do? All the money that this account has earned, about $48, I used to buy a link coin. So what do? I collect the money to buy link coin. And then some, I told them, check the report given by the platform and use your earning to buy the coins, store the coins, and make money, using the money. Don't eat the money. Withdraw the money and use it. Your withdrawal is on every Mondays. Now, if you look at it here, how do I see? In the 168 days, 168 days should be about less than 6 months. But let's say approximately 6 months. What it means invariably is that total money they must have given you as an incentive is $384. So if you calculate as a businessman, you have to calculate. But guy, I subscribe for $200. So that means my $200. Then the only thing I got in 6 months is about 96%, because $184 is about 96%, which makes sense because I have the tokens, and again I have the tokens, I have access to the academy for the report. The other thing is that if you sign up people, they pay you other commission. You can see this my account here. It has earned about $12.5, and because maybe I've signed up somebody and who paid. And what was given for $200 subscription was actually 250 tokens. Now that means I've signed up about 2 people who they give me 500 of the tokens from the sign up of those people. Now, why do I say some people can take advantage of this? Because the subscription starts from as low as $50. All right, you can subscribe for $50. That's the minimum is $50. Now, let's say $53. Look at it here. $53. That's $50. So $3 is was it? $3 is for subscription fee. $50 for your package you are paying. Pick it, so, and how you are paid on weekly basis. But the first 2 weeks you are not paid anything. Then after the first 2 weeks, they pay you 8% of that's your money on weekly basis. So, ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand something, that in this space you must be ready to learn. Don't depend on information given to you by one upline, even including myself. Do your thorough research. And if your mind does not carry something, don't force yourself into it. I tell people, most time, what kills us is that mediocrity. Because he's my leader, I respected him. No, don't do that in business. You have to be very factual. You have to be practical. If it does not work for you, or if you have some gray area you need to be clarified, you need to ask the person, how sure are you this thing is like this? Am I sure what you are saying is correct? I don't think so. I don't buy into it. Let him justify. Okay, look at this account. It's $50 account. It has 3,000 of the token and 96. So if you look at it, this account was subscribed on the 4th of August or so. 4th of August was when this account was subscribed for $50. Yeah, 4th of August. And then it's to expire January 19th, 2020. And it has done 66 days. So it's been 102 days. So every week is earning about $4. And so what I've withdrawn so far is about $30-something or thereabouts. So that money has gone for buying of other coins. Okay? And that is lead block. So you can take advantage of it. The other thing I use is Python Signal. I've always been telling people about Python Signal, but I tell them, is it compulsory for you to come into Python Signal? No. But if you are a good network marketer who you want to build a network, please, I need to put a caution here. Somebody sent me a message and he got an information from funny group of people, very funny group of people who are just MLM junkies, presenting Python Signals to them as presenting Python Signals to them like an investment opportunity. It's a wrong thing. It's a bloody lie. How they should invest on Python Signal within 6 months, they are going to make how many million in Abuja? Mr. Moses in Abuja, your people in Abuja are beginning to be a very big scam, and you are there as Planbxpress, you have to carry out campaign in Abuja because scams are coming out of Abuja heavily now. I got a lot of calls from Abuja. On how they attended Python Signal seminars, and they told them how they are going to be millionaires within 6 months, how they can make billions of naira within so month. I say, what? you guys have to be very careful in Abuja there. Yeah. And these are the people who do not even know how to, and these people spreading those terrible news don't even know how to trade, don't even know what is called support to resistance. And there they are telling them to just subscribe for Python Signal. They are going to make millions within 6 months. Some people said they told them to sign up now. By the time they sign up with $500, before December, they can make 6 million naira. So it's terrible. You can see this is the part of the problem we have is that our people are always not ready. So it's crazy.
We have 6 billion.
Yes, sir. What do you have to say? Say something.
I said it's 6 billion, not 6 million. From now to December, 6 billion naira. You know, that was why I cried out to you now. As Python Signal upgraded to that level.
This is serious, guys. Can you see the problem? See the level of scam people are doing. Okay, is Python Signal really a scam? No, but people now presenting it, of course, as a scam. People presenting it everywhere as a scam. They call somebody, come and invest $500 in Python Signal. You are going to make 6 billion naira between now and December. Can you see the level of scam? One boy was talking on Facebook yesterday. He was just calling a Python Signal a scam. I have to told him, I said, please withdraw the statement. He said, no, Daddy, I know what I'm saying. You know, I don't just talk anyhow. I have to start educating him. He now sent me a message that somebody inboxed, some of his community members of how they are coming into Port Harcourt to come and start. They did training in Port Harcourt on the 28th of last month. And the message was that, oh, I've just started the Python Signal. And now made claim that Python Signal predicted Torcoin in this year, and somebody made 200 million naira in that month from February to June. And it was predicted by Python Signal. And I say, what? And unfortunately, Python Signal does not even review, secondary coins. Python Signal mostly review top cryptos, top 40 cryptos. And there you are, somebody is presenting Python Signal to have reviewed and forecasted Torcoin that make a lot of people millions of naira within 4-6 months. And you can see the level of, atrocities that are being committed by all those, funny group of people. So in a nutshell, why have I not given Python Signal to many of my community? Number one is that, of course, somebody is coming into business. I need to know if the total money you are coming into business is just about $1,000 and you're going to take $500 to subscribe for Python Signal. Am I say Python Signal is bad? No, I use it. It's part of my, platform I use to analyze the market. But taking $500 to go and subscribe for Python Signal and be struggling to trade with $500 does not make too much sense. So if somebody can come and say, okay, I'm subscribing for Bill with me 55,000 naira, or I don't want to subscribe. I just want to learn. Okay, I want to come to Planbxpress. Let me go to the academy and learn about personal trading. And over time, if I can learn, I can do on my own. Though he might be gambling, but at least over time, he will learn it and be able to do better. And so most time we have problem because we up there, we lie to people. All right? We lie to people. Yeah, does that mean I was not building Python signal? I was building Python signal, but I don't sell it as, I'm sure the person who introduced me to Python signal, if he had presented it to me as come and be recruiting people, the more people you recruit to make this money, of course I would not join. I would not join because I need tons of value. So please, I think this I'm just giving will help us because I'm sure very soon they will bounce to Enugu State to start recruiting people and go to Anambra State to start recruiting people, go to other states of the Nigeria and even other country and start recruiting people without big lies. People will now say, hey, Python signal is a scam and all of that. Be careful when somebody is saying it, we must go against those terrible information that people are spreading about, okay? And the third thing is, of course, I do not need to speak too much about EDC. We have been talking about EDC for a very long time, but some people don't want to learn about EDC. EDC is the Listen Master Node project we have and we take advantage of. Of course, I do not need to speak too much about it because our time is fast spent. We have done a lot of things already, and so we do not need to speak too much about it again. But EDC blockchain, maybe it's another day training. We're going to extensively talk about EDC, but EDC is what we lease and take advantage of. Now, if you look at this account that is rolling my front here, this account, I instruct the owner of this account to sign one account for him in the month of April or May, thereabout. And all the investment the fellow did, all the funny third-party investment, EGCM, Wazy, all manner, all gone. And the only thing he can be proud of today now is this EDC. And he never even knew that the total volume of EDC that have been mined for him already is about 19,800 EDC within that period. And I can tell you, if he's patient enough, till next year, this EDC may recover all the money he has actually lost. So EDC is leasing blockchain technology that anyone can take advantage of to earn passively. You invest, you earn, you build a network, you earn. Another thing we give to people is the staking coin. I have a staking coin like OneChain. OneChain is a place you can go to your Play Store and type one wallet. If you type one wallet in your Play Store, it's going to bring out OneChain wallet. Then you download it, and then where you want to start, I can show you how to go about it. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. I'm going to give us some things to hold back home. What are you holding back home? If you have not bought Link, go and buy it. And I'm sure Link will come down within this period before taking up again. So it's an advantage and it's an opportunity for you to buy Link right now and hold it. Now, if you know how to swing coin, that is scalping and selling and scalping and selling, you can swing. But added to Link, these coins, I want you to take note of them. Link, Energy, Cardano, XRP, and DGB. Don't play with them. Link, as Link Coin, Link Chain, Energy, Cardano, XRP, and DGB. Please try and get few of them. Even if it's $20 worth of each, buy and store. Thank you very much. Today is 10th of October 2019. My name again still remains Alex, and I think we have come to the end of this interaction. So I'll leave. If you have questions to ask, I can leave people to ask questions, whatever question you want to ask for more clarification. Thank you very much, everybody, for staying tuned to this training. Yes, any question?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the knowledge you have impacted on us.
You're welcome.
I'm so grateful. Yes, because this is dream come true. It's just that one needs finances to meet up. But what I'm asking is there a way? What the investments there are many. Which ones are you recommending for a startup that through that one can be putting hands on the other ones? I saw what you wrote on Facebook. You spoke like 100 BTC in 1 year, and you wrote that the person makes only 500K.
If what I can't get too clearly.
I said you wrote on Facebook 100 BTC.
Yeah.
In a period of time.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying now is that how can one go about it?
Okay.
So that the investments are many. To start from somewhere.
Yeah.
To start from at least the ones that are more expedient.
Yeah.
Over the others.
Yeah. Well, actually, that journey I specified there. Some persons that might not have capacity to target 100 Bitcoin in that period and target 10 Bitcoin. But irrespective of where anybody want to start from, just like I said, cryptocurrency world is a world of imagination beyond reality. And it better being imagined and work towards it to become a reality. And so, of course, the number one priority is the aspect of personal trading. There's no doubt about that. And because if you are not in the community of traders, there are coins that will come out and is strong enough to do magic for the fellow. It might be difficult for the persons to know. And so personal trading is number one. And the personal trading, sometimes some people felt personal trading has to be, where you have bogus amount of money to start. No. You can start with as low as $100, and it's just that you must be meticulous. Of course, the bigger the fund, the better it is for you. You can just be cool, but it's not just about the fund on your trading. So the first thing is personal trading. The second place we now recommend is the aspect of master node. Like if you look at the EDC, for instance, I've been able to mentor somebody on EDC who have done about 200% of his investments since July, just only on EDC. 200% of his investment, just only on EDC. And how did he do it? So he was coming, he said, what do I do? I said, okay, you are coming in now, buy EDC as much as you can, when EDC was about 24, 25, 27 Satoshi. And he bought a lot of EDC with 27 Satoshi. So the moment it was 60 Satoshi, he sold. After selling, he took 80% of his profit and now leased the coin of the EDC in the leasing coin. So he has that as a backup. Having that as a backup now, he continued trading with the other fund. Having known that, okay, what if EDC, my target in EDC, if we check, EDC had been up to $994 in 2016. So as in my target from now to next year, if Bitcoin hit $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, let EDC manage to get to $1, just $1. It's okay. So how many EDC have I been able to accrue? Can I accrue up to 200,000 EDC? Yes, it's possible. How? If I have up to 5 or 7 or 8 account in EDC now, 30,000 EDC times 4 is 120. If I have 8 times 8 is 240,000. Okay, let me just have 180 EDC. That is 6 accounts. 180 EDC, 6 account, is going to be leasing and giving 3,300 EDC every month on each account. 3,300 EDC per month times 6 in a month, that gives me about 3,300 EDC times 6, that gives me 19,800 EDC per month times 12, that gives me about 237,600 EDC. Now, if EDC is about $1, that is crazy, but let it not get to $1. What about 50 cents? If it's 50 cents, and here I am, the total EDC I've accrued is 237,000.6. Now, what if EDC is 1,000 Satoshi. Then I say multiply by 0.000401000. That gives me about 2 point something Bitcoin. Now, if EDC get to 5,000 Satoshi, that means I have already 10 Bitcoin. You get it? Now, that is the first part of it. Then the third part of it, having learned how to trade, secondly, having learned how to pick and stake some coins on the listen, then I now need to build a network. But the part of network I need to build should be a network of value. Because these are the issues we have. People build network of selling rather than building network of value. How do I build network of value? I need to join system. Like EDC has a network structure. Okay, EDC has a network structure. I can build a network structure on the EDC, number one. I can build a network structure on NITBlock, number two. I can build a network structure on Python Signal. I know on the aspect of Python Signal, it might be a little bit difficult because I don't even have $500 to subscribe. So how then am I going to build a network? So then, these are practical things because sometimes people will just say, if you start like these planets, you have to balance the equation. What about people who are totally broke? So where do they start from? Oh, let them go and look for means of raising fund of about $20 or $50 or $100 to start on their personal trading. Like yesterday, I was just looking at it on our Planbxpress Build With Me trading group. And I was like, oh, we need to give incentive to people. And what did this incentive I announced yesterday? I said, oh, please, if you have any of your friend who is coming in to be with me to start learning how to trade and getting the signals, if that your friend subscribe for 55,000 naira, then you have 10% of that 55,000 naira. That's 5,500 naira. Now, if within 2 months, you have up to 10 friends that you have invited, because you are not going to persuade that fellow. You're only going to educate that fellow that needs to learn how to personally trade and hold their asset by themselves. And you have up to 10 people. I haven't gotten those 10 people 10%, which is 5,500 multiplied by 5 or 10 is 55,000 naira. Then you have a smartphone or a laptop or 80,000 naira equivalent for you as an incentive. Why? I just look at the community that, oh, people need to be encouraged and be given incentive so that things can work well. That is OPM, other people's money. So network of value is what matters now, because nobody is ready to listen to, hey, come and join this network, you're going to sell this supplement. I'm not saying people are not still doing it, but people who have been beaten and battered by different platforms, no one is interested on garbage in, garbage out of, come and invest, we pay you 40% every month, come and invest, this is Wazy, this is EGCM, this is Blue Key, and all of those funny schemes that have dealt with people seriously. So people want to hold their coin by themselves, but they still need information and direction. So you're selling value for them, and then the person too can take advantage of those things. And so I'll be able to get started. So basically, that's what I have to say.
So how much can one start up with from your analysis? 500,000.
500,000 too big. 500,000 too big. Somebody can start with only 200,000 and he's fine. Yeah. 200,000 is fine. 300,000 is fine. Because not everybody can say, okay, I want to gather 500,000. He may have a mindset to say, okay, I would love that my capital to be up to 500,000. So he needs to document. He started with 200,000. He makes some money. He now raises it up to the standard of 500,000. So he spread tentacles beyond where he started from. And know that, okay, my working capital is 500,000, but I can start with 200,000. How? Okay, if definitely the person to start personal trading, of course, he need to learn. That if he has learned, he need to have information, signals, and all of that. Then he can start with, Build With Me. Of course, he's going to pay 55,000 naira for a year to be part of it. Then, or, hey, I don't want to pay that to Build With Me people. I want to subscribe only for NITBlock. The only disadvantage you may have, NITBlock is bringing report to every, maybe at interval. But to a layman, what NITBlock will bring to the table may still be, just like yesterday, NITBlock sent some report, or 3 days ago, some report. I'm sure many laymen will just be, what are they talking about here? But to us, it was a fantastic information because you have understanding. And NITBlock was saying, they brought a big about Bitcoin. They said, hey, they said, I hope you have already noticed that on the right side, there is forming a bullish pattern, double top. This pattern indicates the next high at 15,000 level. The local ATH is located at the same 15,000 level. On the left side, we have the first ATH at the 19,000 level, but the second local ATH has located at the $15,000. No matter how strange this sound, but I don't mean that the price should simply go down after the formation of a double top. If we take a look at the chart more globally, we will notice that the price is forming another large triangle with the flat resistance and ascending bottom, which means that the price will break through the 15,000 level and will form the same double top in the $19,000 zone. Now we need to take a look at this ascending support of the triangle. The one is mentioned by the number 4. This is the best place for buying now. But look at first contradicting message. Now to a layman now, he's getting the right information, but he can't assimilate it. He's going to misuse it. They say as long as the price is located below the descending resistance, namely, as long as BTC stays inside the triangle with the flat support, the situation is bearish. This pattern, triangle with flat bottom, has the advantage to continue the downtrend if the price go through the descending resistance. There will be no way back. However, to continue the ascent needs a correction. As we can see, there is brand new support, $8,050 magnet level. After reaching the $8,050 level, the price will grow. These are Arabic.
This is jargon.
So but the basic thing, the truth of the matter is that everyone have to grow over time to understand those languages. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But before they do, they have to start from the fundamental, where the common language will speak together now. If possible, to break it down to Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. You understand? And the man that is selling abacha on the street can say, yes, I understand what you are saying beyond the normal jargon that is being represented. But these people now have even tried, because if not, what they will have sent to you is a chart, just like this. This is what they will send to you as the market analysis, just like this. Let me just, just like this is what they will send. And the man look and say, man, this is corn inside the bottle, man. It's untouchable. So basically, we tell people, start with 200,000, with 300,000. Person, okay, number one, he has to subscribe. Number two, let's say 200,000. If you take 200,000, 55,000 is away from me, is 145 remaining. So 100,000, and 45,000. Okay, he can take 45,000. I don't know if 45,000 can buy. Okay, he can take $100 to subscribe for NITBlock. The reason, you have more support analysis, and since they are earning little incentive and there's a token giving that will be launched by December, it's part of the journey. Okay, then you can look at the remaining money. Can this money, what is remaining, 100,000? How, if I divide 50,000, can 50,000 buy 30,000 EDC right now? It is impossible. But there was a time 40,000 will buy 30,000 EDC. But right now, I'm sure to buy one account of EDC, the person will spend about 70-something thousand naira, if not to 80,000 naira. So if that is the case, he's now in between the deep sea. He can say, okay, let me go by this. Let's calculate 55,000 naira for subscription. That one is there. Let me take 36,000 or 37,000 for NITBlock. So 37,000 plus 55,000. So let's be practical here. Okay. 37,000 for knit block plus 55,000. That is 92,000 plus, let's say 75,000 for EDC. That is 167,000. Okay. Plus, let's say 50,000 for personal trading. Okay. For personal trading of Binance. So about 217,000. Let's just say call it 250,000. The person can start a little in that order. So because 250,000, yes. So you can now say, okay, let me start that way. The EDC is there, the knit block is there, then he's doing the personal trading. Then as he's earning some little tokens from the knit block, some tokens that are available that even with $20 can make insane profits in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months. He could buy some of them and then keep. But he has to be disciplined. You shouldn't look at this money as the money that, hey, I make the money, I need to be enjoying my money now. No, it's not possible. He has to be very, very stingy to himself right now because he has a target. So that's basically...
That's the foolishness aspect.
Pardon?
The foolishness aspect. He said
fantastic,
you have to be
foolish. Fantastic. So that's the thing. So tell people that, hey, you have to be very foolish, and then somebody will be looking at you, look at this foolish man. How can you do like this? How can you do like this? You say, hey, this is what I need to do because I just need to. Like one of my mentors from Australia told me when early this year, he said, Felix, if you have furniture in your house that is allowing more visitors to be sitting in your parlor, he said, sell them off and put in the crypto. I said what? He said, you only permitted to have your mattress in your house right now. He said, so you have to push everything off. He said, anything that is not bringing money in your house, sell it off and put it in crypto. I said, what? He said, yes. You know, this is a guy who knows where he's going to. He said, do you know what? He said, I just sold all my cars now. I'm driving around the city with Uber. Not that this guy does not have money, but he wants to make more insane money. He's looking at the next year, 2020 to 2021. And looking at what we're having now coming to 2020. Remember, just like what Ikawari said about the phenomena. Look at the phenomena. Every time there's approach a year and the year and the year after of the halving of Bitcoin is always a bullish time. How? Why? In 2009, the bullish time, the first halving was 2012. And the bullish started in 2012 and went extremely high in December 2013, which went to from less than $100, from less than $50 to $1,302. Too bullish. Then it came down again and navigating, consolidating, going down, bearish market, 14, 15, 16. Now in 2016 was the next halving. First halving of 15 Bitcoin in 10 minutes, 7,200 Bitcoin in 24 hours. Then it dropped to 25 Bitcoin in 10 minutes, 3,600 Bitcoin in 24 hours. So in 2016 going forward, now the halving start, then the bullish come 2017 December. And it was recorded that Bitcoin has done the all-time high. We never do what it has done in 2013. That it can never repeat it. It has crashed. The bubble has busted. And that's why we come as aspect of where we say Bitcoin. They have said Bitcoin have died 300 times and resurrected. So many people who have sold and thought they have made excess money, just imagine somebody who bought Bitcoin at $10 and now sold at $1,302. He thought he's extremely rich. He didn't know that he was so foolish. Then come 2014, Bitcoin came down. 2015, Bitcoin came down to as low as $150. How do you explain that? You are not explaining some people buy. We are entering to the phenomena by 2016 when the next halving. Now after the next halving, we are going to see a lot of crazy bullish. Forget about it. That's bullshit. Permit me for that language. But in 2017, the bully said 2013 bullies was nonsense. This is 2017, the real deal. And it went extremely from less than $1,000 in January and go to $17,000, $19,000, $20,000 by December. That is a phenomenon. And then that pack off. The market crashed down. and moved down again, following the trend, 2018, 2019, sit down, and all of that. Now we're entering the next halving. When is the next halving? The next halving is May 2020. Before the halving, during the halving, and after the halving. After the halving is always crazy. So, but the crazy much money you will make depends on how much is your position right now before the halving. So you can expect Bitcoin to do some terrible stuff, if not 2020, but 2021. Extremely terrible. Because look at the margin. $1,300 that was so crazy in 2013, $20,000 in 2017. Then, when somebody is telling you in 2020, 2021, $350,000, don't doubt it. For one Bitcoin. Now, if Bitcoin does that, now Bitcoin can never do a high percentage, unlike other coins that are still in 2-digit Satoshi, 3-digit Satoshi, 1-digit dollar, 2-digit dollars, in cent, in penny. So we can see coins that will do extremely high, 1,000,000%. You can see coin that will do 200,000%. So, but what do you have? You have to be very foolish. Because if you are not foolish, how can you believe that something is going to do that? But if you tell any man that be foolish since 2009, that Bitcoin did 2009 in 10 years, a decade, did up to 19.5 million% growth. That's unbelievable. What kind of nonsense is that? How can investment of $20 in 2009 give you $1.6 to $1.8 billion right now? You must be a foolish man to have kept such a silly stuff that government is even fighting against. You must be very foolish. That's why the problem we're having in the cryptocurrency space, the academicians cannot comprehend it. It's not a concept from Oxford University. It's not a concept from any renowned university. So it's very difficult. So take a foolish man to believe it. So most intelligent people, you know, what is happening, anybody can question me and say it's not true, but what is happening now is scripture, the wealth of the Gentiles. It doesn't matter how it comes. But for me, I just believe that the wealth of the Gentiles, the scripture says, I'll be given to me because I have the birthright to collect the money of the Gentiles. And that's what is happening. But will it just happen that I fold my hands that the wealth of the Gentiles will be transferred to me? It's not possible. But the we that should take the money of the Gentiles don't believe it. So the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Can I shock you? Do you know that Nigeria have the highest statistics of cryptocurrency activities in the whole Africa? But how many awareness of cryptocurrency in Nigeria? So it's to tell you, the more you look, the less you see. And those are the opportunities. So, any more questions? Yeah, any more questions? Okay, somebody have typed something. So can I list EDC will be withdrawn from the block? Okay. Any more questions? Hello? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for honoring this conference and the broadcast. We have come to the end of it, and as we don't have much questions, I think we have been able to extensively dealt with some issues and some fantastic opportunity that we should take advantage of. Thank you very much, everybody. My name is Felix. This is on Planbxpress, and we are moving forward to dish out value to people who desire real value. God bless you. Have a nice time, everybody. Bye-bye for now. Cheers.